Joining us now, Congressman, 2nd District, Virginia, that's Virginia Beach, and up into the peninsula. Scott Taylor, he's on the Appropriations Committee, so he's going to be very involved in this, former Navy SEAL. Scott, good to have you with us, sir.
Good morning, John. How are you? And how are your listeners? Hope they're good.
We're all great. This diversity visa program, the president mincing no words, Congressman Taylor, yesterday and saying, this is insane. People are not vetted. 50,000 of them go into a hat like a bingo game, and they're simply pulled out of there, and they end up in the United States. This program done under George H. Bush in his 1990 immigration package. Are you in favor of doing away with it?
Yes, I don't think you can. I think it's hard to defend, honestly, in this climate. I don't know how you defend the the diversity visa. We should be very controlled and understand exactly who we're getting. It should be merit-based. I agree with that. They should be skilled workers, tech workers. We know that they will contribute. That's not to say, of course, that there haven't been people who have come through the diversity program who have been, made good contributions to society. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not, I don't like some of the rhetoric that surrounds it. But what I will tell you is I don't think that you can defend it.
So you would be in favor of getting rid of it. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
All right, Congressman, today, big day. Chairman Kevin Brady, House Ways and Means Committee, sometime in a couple hours is going to unveil the Trump reform tax package, the tax cut package. Already the Democrats, they don't even know what it is. They're already attacking it. Tax cuts for the rich. The deficit is going to grow. They don't even know what the hell it is. And they've already got their playbook out. Walk me through what happens now.
Of course they have. They've been saying for months now, it's all for the rich, but they don't know what it is, right? So, I think it is important to understand that what will be revealed today is not the final product because it still has to go through markup. There might be some negotiations. Obviously, it's got to go through the Senate. So, but clearly, it hits three fundamental points thus far. The framework does, and the details will be filled in. You'll see some of the details today. That works on corporate reform, that works on repatriating money, and that gets the rates lower, meaning less taxes paid for working folks. So that's the goal. That's what the framework outlines. That's the goal. Devil's in the details. We'll have some details today. And again, the process itself won't be done today. This isn't the final product. It'll be moving along to towards the final product. So I'm optimistic, and I think we will get things done. I think we have to get things done, and we'll see what comes out today from Chairman Brady.
Now, Congressman Taylor, you know that as soon as this gets unveiled, that the swamp lobbyists are going to come out like a creature of the Black Lagoon on steroids, and they are going to be swarming the halls of Congress, trying to save all of their pet projects one after the other. All of the limos are going to pull up. They're all going to come in their $10,000 Armani suits and their $8,000 Rolex watches, and they're going to be lobbying everybody in order to attack this plan. How are the Republicans going to stand up to this when they donate so much money? Basically, I'm asking, how do you stand up to the swamp?
How am I personally going to stand up to it?
And everybody else.
I'm interested in the greater cause, and I think most Republicans are as well too. So you've already started to see some of that. You've already, there's been a couple associations that have come out already, that are opposing it because they do have, like you said, they have their special tax credit or whatever it is. But the goal here is, of course, is to get the rates, get the net tax lower for working folks and corporate reform. And if that means you get, your special thing goes away for the greater good that benefits all or way more people, then so be it. And I know it's important for us to have a spine, stand strong, and move forward. What I'm hearing in D.C. thus far is that's what's happening. So, everyone's sort of locking arms and moving forward. Now, as you know, John, politics is fickle sometimes, and some people might get cold feet, but I can promise you this, I'm not.
Well, you're a former Navy SEAL, so we know that you're not going to be intimidated or swayed. That's why we enthusiastically backed your campaign for Congress against Randy Forbes and others, because we knew with you there, you would stand up to these people and do the right thing. And that's why we're so excited to have you there, Scott. So, Scott Taylor, about a couple months ago, you told our listeners you went into Paul Ryan's office and you asked them about when they were going to bring up the debate for reauthorization, AUMF, or authorization of military force, because the one that we're going on is 3 administrations ago, going back to 2001. It's outdated. Now, the generals who are dominating the West Wing, General McMaster of the Skies, General Mattis, and General Kelly, the Chief of Staff, they're not in favor of any changes because generals want to do what generals want to do. We all understand that. Has Paul Ryan made good on his word? What's the deal here?
Not yet. I know that that's come up in the news as of late. And as you said, the generals aren't in favor of much changes, and that's sort of to be expected, if you will.
Right.
They want as much latitude as they can at the executive branch level, but obviously that's why we have a check, and that's why we have the power of the purse, and that's why we should have this debate via the Constitution. That's why the American people should have this debate via the representatives. So I haven't spoken to the speaker since I heard that in the news a couple of days ago, but I plan on doing it actually this week. We might release a little video. I have nothing but respect for the generals, but at the same time, this is our duty, our constitutional duty. When you look at Africa, for example, and obviously your listeners have seen the latest incidents, and one of my buddy's death, Kyle, in Somalia, as well as the folks that were ambushed in Niger. When you look at what we're doing there, and when you look at the specific mission, so that those are foreign internal defense missions where you build capacity, partner capacity, in some of these other governments to be able to deal with this threat. So we don't have to, right? I understand that. At the same time, via this AUMF, you're able to patrol with them, right? You're able to go, and technically you're supposed to stop at the last cover or something like that. Well, that's all BS when you're there. You're in harm's way. So my point is, under this AUMF, they can do that. And when you're a soldier on the ground, you kind of want to because you're bored. You're in the middle of nowhere. You want to get a little action or whatever. However, that's not good for us. It's not good to put our folks in harm's way unnecessarily for no reason. So that's one of the things that's an outgrowth of an AUMF that's based, like you said, on the 3rd administration 16 years ago, and that it's just getting looser and looser, and the executive branch is taking more and more of it. So we have to have the debate. We have to, for the American people, talk about our footprint, talk about where we are in Congress. That's why we had that constitutional check, with all due respect to the executive branch.
I agree with you 100%, and it is your responsibility in Congress, granted by the Constitution, to authorize where we send troops, right, where we deploy ground troops. But that's not being done now.
You still want the executive branch to have the flexibility to be able to deal with national security and deal with threats on our behalf. Cool, no problem. I think they should have input. For sure, I agreed with the speaker at that when he said, we need to have their input, the new administration coming in. Agree. We have some input. Now it's time for us to have the debate. And I can promise you that, and you know this very well in our area, if something's going on around the world, there are people from our area there, period. So, on their behalf, on the American people's behalf, it's time for Congress to have a damn debate.
And the thing is, Scott Taylor, is that all we're looking for here is a debate, right? We just want to have a debate. That's it. And the fact that, and every time we get a new AUMF attached to a bill, the leadership says, well, it doesn't belong in appropriations. It doesn't belong in so they dump it in rules for it to die. But they can only do this stall game, I think, for so long, right? We've got to get a debate. And look, we want the administration to come to Congress and lay out the cards and lay out their philosophy and lay out their position and then have a debate. And if it passes, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. They don't want to have.
You do it in a way that makes sure that the United States is still protected, that it doesn't impede, the ability, the flexibility for our troops that are in the field to be able to protect our interests. That's understandable. But like I get the mission was done in many countries. You can still do that. You can still build capacity and work on that without going on patrol and putting our troops in harm's way. You know what I mean? And that's an outgrowth of this AUMF. So, I think you're right. I think it's important for the administration to come to Congress, lay their strategy, lay what their philosophy is, and then we have this debate for the American people and come together for a conclusion.
There you have it. We're out of time. I want to thank Congressman Scott Taylor for being with us. Sign up for his e-newsletter today. Just go to taylor.house.gov. That's taylor.house.gov.